Hey guys, I'm Kate, and in this video I will tell you everything about watercolor transparency, how to know which pigments are transparent or opaque, and how to use this knowledge to create vibrant paintings. So, transparency of paint greatly affects the painting. Light passes through transparent layers of paint and bounces off the paper, allowing you to see multiple colors at once. Let's talk a bit about glazing. To glaze in watercolor means to paint in thin layers, covering a dry layer of paint with another layer, thus building the necessary values of light and dark. When you glaze over one layer of color with another one, you create vibrant mixes. You can make wonderful color combinations this way, keeping the colors lively and vibrant. Here you can see the difference between glazing and mixing pigments while they are still wet. This is why transparency plays such a big part when it comes to watercolor. So, how do you know if the paints you are using are opaque or transparent? You can look at the label or a color chart of the brand you've got. Here is a color chart by Sennelier. There, under the name, you can see a tiny square. That square is used to show the level of transparency. Empty means the paint is transparent, half full means that it's semi-opaque, and full means that it's opaque. But a great idea is to test the paints for yourself. Take a sheet of watercolor paper and draw a thick line with a black permanent marker. Then make swatches of each color over the top of the black line. You will notice how some colors seem to disappear when they cross the black line. These are the transparent colors. Other colors covered the black line almost completely. These will be the opaque ones. Then there are those that covered the black only slightly, leaving a kind of translucent film over the black. They are called semi-opaque. I wrote the name of the colors next to each swatch so I can have a color reference anytime I need to look up a particular color. I also added the abbreviation of pigments that each color consists of. It's a good idea to write down the pigments that the paint actually consists of, because that way you will know not only the name of the color that you're using, but you will actually know what is in that color, what pigments are in that color. So when you are buying another brand, for example, even if it has the same name, it might be a different color because of the pigment combination that the manufacturer uses. But I will make another video about that. So now let's talk about the opaque pigments and why you need them in your palette. You'll notice that opaque pigments have a slightly chalky texture to them. This is what prevents the light from passing through the paint and reflecting off the white of the paper. And that means that the light bounces off the surface of the paper instead. Opaque colors tend to look heavier on the paper than the transparent ones, but this doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. You can use opaque pigments to make transparent colors look more vivid. And now I'll show you how. Here's a simple and a very important tip. Transparent paint lets the light bounce off the white of the paper, and that is why the dark mixes you create with it will never be as dark as the dark mixes of opaque pigments. Let's try and mix a black with transparent pigments. I'm using carmine, ultramarine deep, and lemon yellow. Here's the first black, and all the pigments in this mixture were transparent. Now, let's use opaque paint. I'm mixing forest green, which is semi-opaque, with French Vermilion, which is opaque. After the paint is dry, you can see the difference. The opaque mix is a lot darker. Let's do the same with brown. For the transparent mix, I take lemon yellow, carmine, and ultramarine deep. The same colors as for the black, but in different proportion. Now, let's mix the opaque brown. I mix French Vermilion with Dioxazine Purple. First one is opaque and the other one is semi-opaque. When both are dry, you can see that the opaque mixture is a lot darker. If you remember this simple rule, it will help you build deeper and more fleshed out paintings and bring out those vibrant transparent colors. Also, if you'd like to learn how to mix blacks, browns, and grays, I will be doing another video dedicated just to that, so you'll be able to find it on my channel. That is it for what I have to tell you about transparency. If you have any questions or suggestions for another tutorial video, leave me a comment. I will be doing more videos on color theory for watercolors, so stay tuned. And if you haven't seen my videos on how to keep paper flat without stretching, I will leave a link in the end of this video. Check out my channel for more painting tutorials and tips and tricks on watercolor. I hope you found this video useful, and if so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video. Ciao!